Ms. Gabrielle Smith.
Good afternoon, Councilmember Barnes and the rest of your esteemed colleagues on the Committee of Executive Administration and Labor. Thank you so kindly for allowing me the opportunity to testify to you today. To begin, my name is Gabrielle Smith, and I'm the president of Royale Nationwide Ventures and the program director for Career Shop DC, a workforce development, job training, and more importantly, a job placement program here in the district. I'm also a member of the Coalition of Workforce Development Providers. We have received grant funding by the Department of Employment Services and have worked for the Office of Youth Programs as a host site for the Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment Program and for the Division of State Initiatives this past year. Today, I'd like to highlight 3 important aspects of our rookie year administering the program. 1, the shared accomplishments of our partnership with the Department of Employment Services, DOES. 2, our job placement and success rate. And finally, the lasting effects of our work with DOES on the community as a whole. In mid-2023, we partnered with Dr. Unique Morris Hughes and the Division of State Initiatives, DSI, working mostly with returning citizens. Having now completed a second cohort and a full year of working in this capacity, I'd like to say a few words today about our work at Career Shop DC alongside DOES and the crucial role we play in stabilizing the lives of those who paid their debt to society. After receiving funding, we enrolled 40 participants in less than 2 weeks. I'd like to argue that the next step in providing a firm foundation for returning citizens is to lead them to a path of economic stability. And for most, that answer is to gain steady, stable employment, to get a job. This getting a job thing for our citizens is a little more difficult because it has its unique set of challenges. Together with DOES's help and funding, we've overcome issues from participants being technologically impaired, like not being able to use a cell phone because of their years of incarceration, to those suffering with severe mental health challenges. Our Career Shop DC program was largely successful because of the financial support of DSI, which enables them the ability to steady themselves while seeking employment, which brings me to the second aspect, results. Of the 40 allotted for the program, 37 were able to enroll, as 3 were rejected through no fault of their own. Of the 37 accepted, an impressive 37 actually completed the program in its entirety. And of the 37 that completed the program, 27 will still work in full-time as of yesterday, some 4 months after completion. That computes to a 72% job placement rate. For returning citizens, jobs restore dignity, jobs provide for their families, jobs send their kids to college, just to name a few. To date, the word of our program has spread through referrals and good old-fashioned word of mouth. At last count, we had roughly 175 residents on our waiting list, with more calls and emails coming in every day. In closing, I'd like to look at the effect of these jobs on our city as a whole. In these challenging times, where the district is being called a city under siege by some local news outlets, I'd like to point out that jobs for returning citizens equal reduced crime. Jobs for returning citizens equal community stabilization. Jobs for returning citizens equal pathways to the middle class. And most importantly, at this time, jobs for returning citizens equal public safety. It is imperative that this much needed work is continued, and it is also imperative that this funding be restored. Thank you again for allowing me this opportunity to testify to you today, and I'd gladly take your questions at this time.
Thank you very much for your testimony to the entire panel. I do want to ask you, Ms. Smith, you say restored the funding. Help me understand what that means.
So this was our first year administering the program. We were giving a budget with 3 option years to the grant, and we were informed in late August, early September, that the funding was no longer available for us to continue our future option years.
All right. And what was the level of the funding on the yearly basis?
So initially, I was given $240,000 grant, which was increased for a total of $318,000, and that was for 60 participants
All
in
right.
total,
All
two
right.
cohorts.
And that's for 1 year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Ms. Nguyen, we understand we do not want to be